So
the only reason I remember is because there was something I wanted to say to Nibs before we ended.
Okay, so in our last session, we had a grand old time traveling from where you guys ambushed the caravan of Topher Merrick, the Pontifex Grimoire of the Arkstone Guard, finding out he is the undercover operative along with his wife and 2 bodyguards, and transporting them from there with some interesting conversations happening in the one evening you had to stay in a cave while on the road, eventually making your way to the Faramar trading post, where led underground you guys found the massive underground locale that pretty much is being used to train what right from the ads to train a whole bunch of freed slaves. They're not very good, but they're free and they have weapons. What are you glaring at me like that for?
She has
Nari takes 50 psychic damage.
I
So, we begin as the party has taken a long rest with the briefing from the once Topher Merrick, now claiming his original form of Nibs, or Nikolai Fraudenstein. He brought back word that a man named Pekar Rendwall, who is not necessarily an unknown figure in Dwinder, but by no means known for what Nibs now knows him for, that being the creation of the collars. There is a large mansion, or estate, should be better said, that is being actively cased now by one of the operatives of Finch and Marquet. And it seems a higher member of the consortio named Robin has decided to come to Darren to kind of partake in / oversee / participate in the final few weeks in Darren.
Isn't partake and participate the exact same thing?
Shut the fuck up.
He's a walking thesaurus.
I am a walking
Rocks fall,
thesaurus.
you die.
Rocks fall, Mike dies.
Could you once again clarify what was the guy's name that we're about to paste in my notes?
His name is Pekar Rindwall.
That's right, Pekar Windwall.
Rind. R-I-N-D.
Pekar, like paywall. Can't talk.
Exactly.
Sorry, I am so tired. What was it?
Pekar.
Pekar, like I'm gonna pay for the car.
Pay for the car.
Windwall.
Wind.
Rind.
Wall.
Oh my
Rind.
Rind as in tearing the metal. Pay for the
Rind.
car.
Pay for the car. Tear the metal.
And slam
into the
Is
concrete
it
wall.
Rind or red?
Rind.
Okay.
R-I-N-D. And
Rind.
I'm not even going to tell you how Pekar is spelled because you already know it's weird.
We're gonna pay for that car.
P-A-Y-C-A-R. I think that's pretty simple.
So, everyone was pretty much set to go to sleep.
What is he doing?
We
What?
were gonna go get drunk.
You guys went, got some drinks, pretty much went overnight. If you guys want to go through that, we can. However, I did not have anything planned for that. I know most of the party was just going straight to sleep.
We
A couple
need to
were
write
getting
a couple
drinks.
con saves.
Sure, go ahead and-
bombs.
I know both of you guys drank some firebomb. So Nari, if you want to go ahead and roll some con saves for me.
I know I did.
Hey, 21.
What?
21. Nibs is not too incredibly affected by the legitimate lamp oil that is in the liquor.
Yeah. So it's a thing we do.
It's a thing the fire-resistant people do.
Actually, I don't.
You don't have fire
resistance.
resistance.
I'm immune to fire,
Oh,
so it
you already-
literally does not do
Oh, no
anything.
wonder I
My-
didn't do
my
well. I
con
rolled a
save
nat
is a-
1.
Okay.
My con save
It's
is
like
a
how when you roll the
18.
nat.
So,
Okay, you're pretty
It's hard liquor, dwarven whiskey mixed in with like a giant shot into like a quart size,
I know what an Irish car bomb
and
is.
then you add actual lamp oil to it.
Oh, so that's the
Ignite it on
difference.
fire.
Light
And
it
you
on
set it
fire,
on fire and then you
drink it.
I'm good against cold.
Brother
So,
literally
that's
just
what the
melts
nat-
his heart.
That's what the nat
I'm
one
now
is.
made of iron?
I'm widowy made of metal.
So,
Wait, wait, wait.
As you start to have trouble with it, I'm gonna hand you a ring of fire resistance. If you want it.
Do I get a reroll because of that?
No, you're still fucked up.
No, it's just do you want a ring of fire resistance?
I
So,
don't think I have enough attunement.
over that evening, this is the second or third day that Robin's been here. So, getting to see Finch again, which it's probably at this point been close to 6 months since you had. But there is some discussion, but it is mostly awaiting the note from Finch's operative, who is an operative. Are we okay?
Yeah. Sorry, this is just major family tea that's dropping.
No,
Do I need to pause the recording
no,
so we
go
can hear
ahead,
about
please.
this?
Wait, if I'm talking to John Paul later, I get it. All right, cool. We're good. We're good. I'll get it later.
Go take a shower, bitch.
Is it anything with the child or is it more?
And pretty much you guys are awaiting
Damn.
the word of an operative of
Boy.
his who is actively casing the Rendwall estate. An operative named Lady Forlorn is her code name. But you have absolutely no clue who this is. These are Finch's and Marquet's operatives. This is not your operation. However, come the morning, you do have a note. I am going to send it to you, but I am going to obviously read it out myself since it is fairly long.
Lady Forlorn.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's the wrong.
Fuck you, I've been in a car for 7 hours today. I'm tired.
Where are you driving
Double
so
or
much
triple?
car?
I went from Ames, Iowa to back here.
What were you doing in
Probably
Iowa?
So I was at a baseball game up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I saw a guy piss and shit against the wall in the ring. That was pretty cool.
Cool.
Hey, I thought you sounds like
You're doing great.
Wait,
Logan.
you saw me?
Oh, dude.
If you grew more of
On
a
the wall.
beard and had shittier clothing, wouldn't be surprised.
I had a drug addiction.
Was he gooning?
95% of homeless have drugs.
I mean,
or
it is
alcohol.
Minneapolis, Minnesota. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Austin
Of more Midwest.
yeah, but more northern Midwest.
Okay. So,
You got it out.
as you guys all gather in the morning, gathering in that same underground room as you did before, there are no additional people. It is still just Robin, Marquet, and Finch here. And Finch, if anyone who has their laptop up, you guys can go to the Dungeon Dudes and
Discord.
in the text chat, A Whole New World, you can look up the map. As it is placed in the center of the table, and is a roughly drawn design of what the Pekar or the Rindwall estates look like.
What's our mission?
My brother. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to either kidnap and or interrogate and then likely kill Pekar Rindwall for any information about a headquarters for where there's pretty much a home base for the callers, a place where they're all connected to.
Cool.
I keep forgetting this exists, and every time I go to it, I'm like, there's so many memes.
There's not even that many memes.
Okay, which one did you drop it in?
A Whole New World. So, in that, this map is set out in front of you guys, and Finch will begin to read through the note. The first section is from Lady Forlorn, who has actively been casing the Rendwall estates, and the other seems to be from another operative that he leaves the name out of, who has done a little bit of research into Pekar himself as use of possible information pre-interrogation. So there are a few weaknesses in the estate, with high walls of 30 or so feet and rooms which negate any teleportation attempts through them. With guards patrolling them consistently even after dark, there are no seeming blind spots where there is enough time for someone to scale the walls and not be seen. There is one gate on each of the walls, except for the north wall along the Street of Steel, where there is a smaller second gate by the Temple of Clavius, which is in the northeast section of the estate. With no guards, it seems to have magical protections that divine magics release. Lady Forlorn has watched the father of the temple, Father Bernard, step through and cast a spell behind him and go with some of his disciples to visit a brothel. This seems to be an every night affair. It takes Bernard about 30 seconds to cast the spell on the door again once opened. With some distraction and a well-timed ambush, the 3 men of the faith, there is at least a chance to enter the estate with minimal alarm raised. Perhaps with help of illusory magic, this would likely be the best opportunity that they have on such a short notice. The brothers of the faith leave around midnight, waiting for them to exit, then attacking as Bernard recasts the protections is likely the best course of action. Especially since the father does not wear armor, or at least didn't on his last escapade. While his 2 companions still did, it is still some minor advantage against them, aside from an all-out assault on the facility. And that's the information given on the estate itself. If you'll notice on the map, it details out the rest of the information that can generally be given. That being the forge on the northwestern corner, a large stables on the southwestern corner, there's a training grounds on the western section, and then there is both the guardhouse and the greenhouse in the south to southeastern sections, with kind of in the center but a little off to the east and north is the mansion itself, which is quite large. This estate is probably somewhere around a quarter mile long and wide, so it is quite a large locale, at least for in the middle of a city. The Street of Steel to the north of it is denoted as a location where a lot of smithies, artificers, metal manufacturing, anything related to metal manufacturing is often there. There's even some artificer shops there, along with general food and such. The brothel would be to the north. The Street of Silver, however, is a more illustrious area, more known for its selling of jewels and such. However, above even that is the high life living of Dwinder. Now, you may say, why is metal manufacturing right next to where a lot of the estates are built? Well, the smithies were built first, and they were the high-end smithies in the nice part of town. And Dwinder is actually a fairly small city for how many people are inside of it, being built from the old city of Velcontus from before the schism. Velcontus was half in the ocean, half on land, so it didn't have a huge land presence. So that's why Dwinder in and of itself, even though population-wise pretty large for its area, is still built in such a small city, because they're just using the same walls and foundation that was already there. Are there any questions on any of that information?
According to their intel, do the sluts walk around that street by chance?
The sluts do not walk around that street.
Where do the sluts walk?
The sluts walk probably around a half mile away. Maybe a little bit more
Would
from the
they
promenade.
Valid question.
happen to pass by there?
Valid question.
Unlikely, but possible.
Do they visit the same brothel? Or is it a different brothel?
This was the only night that Lady Forlorn has had to look at it. Because you guys got this information,
I see.
and it was sent to her. She's looked at it for one night, but it seems to be through the routine that they went through as they left to be a nightly affair. She cannot confirm that, but that's what
I
it
see.
seems. Because she has only cased this place for one night.
So I think Mike pretends to be a whore and gets up and close to this big priest.
Alright. Quick question.
Huh.
How
Valid
did you know
question.
It
was
really
there.
is lore accurate.
Alright, so
Yeah.
is there any information about the spell? Is it verbal? Is it somatic?
It seems to be a little bit of it. It is a ritual that he casts on the door.
So he has to talk to do it.
Yes.
Okay. Whatever we do, we hit him with silence before we start.
Sounds smart.
That way he
We only have
cannot.
30 seconds before.
Finch kind of denotes,
Well, it usually takes 30 seconds, right?
if it would be preferred, I could maybe prepare in a ring of spell storing an expanded version of the spell, as if you are to kill them, it will likely take a short period of time. That way the gods who are up on the wall just above will not hear it as well. I don't know if I can help with the illusory magic of possibly covering it up, though.
Silence, bitch. And then
Well, there's a couple different ways to work it, but silence definitely to start off with.
Hey, Zach, I got a question for you.
I likely have an answer.
So I have the spell Summon Fae. Can I guess I should do two questions. One, can I make the Fae look like anything I wish?
Not anything, but dependent on what you ask, possibly.
Can I at least dress it up so it doesn't obviously look like a Fae? So you might be able to pass it off as, some, regular race.
We have a shapeshifter.
This is like a death blast.
Possibly. The reason why I might say no is the fact that it is Summon Fae. It's not Summon Fae that looks like something else. Like, it is supposed to summon a Fae creature, and while the Fae are naturally fairly deep into shape shifting more than not, the things that you would be able to summon with that spell would likely not be able to do that unless you summoned a far fewer and had a higher CR.
Well, I was going to say, it is only summoning one. It's one of the Tasha summon spells.
Okay.
The whole reason I ask is because it has an ability, if I summon with it, that it can force one creature to conceive within 10 feet to make a wisdom saving throw against my spell save DC, which is a 21. Unless the save succeeds, the target is turned by you and the Fae for 1 minute or until the target takes damage.
Have you been watching weather patterns?
And it would know common.
The storm?
Because it knows the languages I speak.
No, like around where we're going.
Around where you guys are going, it is supposed to be clear skies for the next few days.
It will be raining today. When are we going?
Preferably tonight, considering not tomorrow, but the day after he would be leaving. Like the morning of the day after.
And unfortunately,
It will be raining.
I only packed a white t-shirt.
So, Finch kind of looks at you confused at first, and Marquet kind of taps him. Magic. Not magic you can do, but magic. Okay, and so for the second part of the note of a little bit of looking into Pekar himself, in terms of the target himself, Pekar was a mama's boy. Being the son of a Khatanit lady, he takes far more after that culture than that of his father's Dwendalian heritage. Both of his parents were from very minor houses. He was third in line from being the head of his father's house, so he had to make for himself what he could. Growing up, he found he took a liking and extreme skill in molding science with magic, making many autonomous creatures, new magical items for mundane use, and eventually designing what ended up being, obviously now today's collar, but seemed more like rope to wrap around the necks of livestock to make it easier to control them and quell the larger groups so that they could be ran by smaller crews with still maintaining high levels of efficiency. So it was primarily made for livestock and fields. However, after a short time after this invention, seemingly for no reason at the time, Pekar was summoned to the Dwendalian capital of Aldovac by the Khatanit king. He was summoned there, but later was summoned by the Khatanit king to the Khatanit capital. Let me just double check and make sure I'm not talking out my ass. As I'm always talking out my butt, as you guys know. Of Icamore. Where there, it can be now assumed that he was coerced and or asked to try and develop it for human use, for slaves. He has no wife and no children, and his primary thoughts in life is about legacy and becoming more influential, striving to have his name in the books of history. Is there anything else major here? He's old and all about legacy. He has no real connections. He's estranged from his siblings. as he kind of grew rich and kind of just moved away from where their seat was. So he doesn't really have any major connections, as far as they could tell, on this very, very short one night of looking into things, periphery glance at him.
Do we know the mother's name, and do we know where she could be located, theoretically?
Theoretically, well, she's dead. Both of his parents are dead.
Cool. Fuck, there goes that. Damn it.
The mother's name was Mariette, but passed away likely about 60, 70 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Shit, I was
What did
gonna
you say?
try and go into that mama's boy lean, but I don't think it's gonna work in this case.
We still had some.
No, it could.
Bits in the bank.
I mean, you know.
Pretty sure somebody
I
might
think-
be clean.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was
No,
Just
but he
when
looked at
the
clean.
just
He
next
could
to
have
do
done
anything,
with
because
it.
probably think of himself as a martyr. So we need to find a way to make sure that
I don't know.
legacy is something that he needs to fear if we're gonna try to.
Who holds on to that bag? Is it Drake?
Oh, it's Drake.
What's going on?
Also, I guess.
They're
Does-
asking about the Coke bag.
Does Drake still have like?
The Coke bag, he sold it.
Oh, that's
He sold it to the Green Hand,
Fuck.
to the tent.
Yeah.
A poor choice, but a choice nonetheless.
We could have.
So now is it just deliberating time?
It is deliberating time and
All right,
questions.
bitches, what we gonna do?
So you have other
As
concoctions.
question, not regard to deliberation.
Inject
So if this deliberation is happening in the next morning, can Robin make his appearance?
Robin is in the room as
Ah.
the party enters, and Finch is kind of giving this breakdown.
I was unaware it was there in the room.
Oh crap! What am I doing here?
Oh no!
I just
Let me just drop the
leave you
V-neck.
in this room. So I suppose as the party walks in, I don't have a good mental image of your characters, and also it would help to learn names, even though I'm almost certainly going to forget them in 5 minutes. You have terrible names.
I'm Nari. I'm a fire genasi. Cool. Anybody else wanna?
I was waiting for Thomas.
Thomas,
For
let's go
Thomas?
around the table.
Oh.
Thomas, would you like to talk about
Oh,
your
he's
feelings?
pulling up. He's pulling up.
pulling himself.
Victor.
This is exactly what I look like.
Neat.
It's in display.
He has 4 arms.
I have 4 arms.
And 2
Oh,
legs.
and 4
My
forearms.
armor is
He-
made of a mixture of mithril, adamantine, and ancient
So-
gray dragon scales.
That is very impressive
For
armor.
for
And
Ra-
I
for
also
Aiden's
have a-
sake, she is an Eldritch Knight fighter wielding a rapier. Warden is a cleric. A
I'm
forged cleric.
I'm a forged cleric, but I also have
Unearthed
a
Arcana Forge.
what?
Unearthed Arcana
Forge.
Yes, Unearthed Arcana forged cleric. Sorry.
Weird shit.
He's a warforged.
Warforged. Yes.
It's all about that.
And
forge.
I have 2 very massive dragon marks on my front and back side that seem to be burned and cracked into my armor.
And he also has an AC of 25. That's after it was
Wait, does
reduced
he
by
still have the
3.
wig? I can't remember.
It was reduced
He-
by
no.
3 due
Damn.
to the dragon mark cracking into my armor.
That doesn't even include
And
shit
replacing
And replacing
His-
my armor.
his
with-
old armor
Yeah.
with
The
higher
dragon.
resistances in this new armor, but less
pure
AC.
AC. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bird
I
boy.
also have a little voice in my head that calls me stud muffin.
I am Mihail Unswarm, a rogue with a laser gun.
Assassin, rogue, old one, warlock. Great old one, warlock.
Something like that, I think. That sounds right.
Yeah, I believe it's great old one. You don't really use your warlock stuff all that often, but it's there.
I use a little bit of it, but it's not. Most of what I took wasn't for combat. It was
Yeah.
for utility.
Baton, silver, dragonborn.
I'm literally made of metal.
I'm literally made of
What do
metal.
we made of metal?
That's his iconic line.
Yeah. I have
Also
an
that.
axe that is made out of
Barbarian.
multiple teeth. Correct term for that.
Multiple tubes.
Tooths. I made the bitch toothless. Into an axe from the dragon that we killed.
That's dope. I didn't
And I'm
forged it.
too angry to die.
Alright,
That's
no,
really
you
what I
participated.
am.
No one
I'm a
did the forge.
berserker barbarian.
It was forged in the Overkeep Chasm before you guys left. Whereas your armor was forged through the Lightstar Forge. And lastly, Nibs.
Yep. So, I'm now a blue cobalt.
I don't know what to make of the fact that you say now you're blue cobalt.
Well, last session I was Nazimir with
Ooh,
super
yeah,
magic
yeah.
on me.
Undercover.
And prior to some radical changes, I was a red cobalt. But I.
He got blue balled.
For about 6 months, actually.
With a harpy who hated me.
More like gooned.
Anyway, he's monk, cleric, fighter.
As
I
all
don't
of
even know what you
Logan's.
call that.
He's multi-classed.
He's a close range multi-class.
He's
yeah. It used to be a druid.
Yeah. Also, what are
Who
your
hated druids. Just call me Nibs. Nikolai Fordenstein.
You go ahead and if you want to say
don't
something,
call
say
me by
something.
my real name.
And also, for you, just as a refresher of what the other two members in this room look like, your younger brother Finch, who has now grown up and lost most of his nasally talking voice, is now 19. He is a pretty powerful wizard. However, he generally still dresses more like you in black straps and leather armor. And Marquet
As he
is now pushing 65 in his human form. He is getting old, but he is still kind of William's number 2, and at this point has the face of pretty much gearing up for war, as that's his side. He has mostly been gearing up the training and arming of the vast majority of the freed slaves, whereas Finch has been working more the undercover operatives and moving the pieces of the board around.
To go ahead and describe my character, his name is Robin Locke. He's a warlock of the Dao Genie variety, as human, and right now he's just wearing. What was that?
Sorry, I think my charger.
As I was saying, he's wearing just like a really fine, but like almost like traveler's outfit. Like it can definitely take some wear and tear, but it's also, you can tell that there's quality behind it. And he's just like messing around with a whip in one hand.
I pegged it.
I pegged it? What?
Yep. Anyway.
Who are you pegging?
Pegged it on the nose.
He just said.
It. Damn.
Clarification, just because I was really sleepy and the caffeine hadn't taken in.
Okay.
The priest is the target.
No.
That's
The
right.
priest
He is just in the way.
is in the way, and from what you guys can see, the best way in.
All right, just wanted to clarify because I didn't think he was the target. I'm like, don't waste everything.
Oh, man,
don't
if
blow your
I-
load in one go.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't, well, I might be able to use it on somebody else.
What? Who? What?
You don't have to know.
The fuck does that mean?
You still got the grenade launcher.
I do have the
I mean,
grenade
we
launcher.
could just shoot the gate.
That's loud.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, recognize
Yes, sir.
this is a very large estate with a large garrison.
We could also just shoot some other building on the other side of town, have somebody shoot it, cause the distraction.
Where
and
is
we
this
run in when
located?
everyone goes.
What
This
was
is
that?
We could
located
blow up the church or the
near,
brothel.
near
If
the
you shoot a
center.
building on the other side of town, what's saying the guards from this estate will go running?
So, hold on. So we're like in here.
You guys are about there.
There.
Are there?
We are going.
You guys are going there.
We're going to Dwinder?
Oh
Capital.
crap! I don't have enough time to run home. Maybe if I send a message, I might be able to have someone meet us in Dwinder with my alternative armaments.
I was gonna say.
What are you speaking of?
No, I'm just fucking with you. But per the name of what I chose, specifically we're loading anti-armor rounds into it. So
It's not
that means I could make it an anti-personnel arm background.
One thing to recognize: this estate is. It is not a part of like the Obsidian Guard or anything.
Also, I only
this
have
estate
one.
has its own guardhouse.
Can we get the bag of holding from Trek before he left?
With what inside?
What's inside it?
I don't know. But it's
What's
a bag
inside
of
his
holding.
bag of holding?
I don't know. That's for him to keep track of, not me.
I thought he had the party's bag of holding.
I usually carry
No,
both
Warden
parties.
carries
You
the
have
party
that. Okay,
stuff.
so he has his own. You have that.
I've always been the party pack mule because I was the biggest.
Well,
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
it's the
Wait,
pack.
well, Trek did too.
You're weight-wise, you are still the biggest. Height-wise, taller than me.
By 1 inch.
Oh, it's
All
so
that
funny
matters.
if we
I
stuck
bet
a rocket
that's
launcher
such a
up
thing.
Nib's sleeves.
You did
I don't
what?
think that would work very
No,
well. It would blow up inside the.
Well, no, you stick it in there
Bag of
because
holding.
yeah. Then you
What are you
just
trying to
pull it
stuff
out.
in there?
I was just laughing about.
No, if you do that, then you can just
She
Hadouken.
said.
Yeah.
Okay,
God.
okay, so
It's
so
just-
the north gate is where the priest goes
Yes.
to and fro.
Yes. If you're looking at the map, there is a tiny little gate on the
Right,
northeast
I'm
section.
looking at the map. I'm just making sure I
Okay.
got the right one.
Yeah,
All
the
right,
top right
so-
section. It's the smallest gate there is.
Yeah.
It is literally just a medium-sized set of double doors.
And they're going to give us a device that can be activated to do the silence in a large scare area, not requiring a spell slot.
Yes, Finch can set something up if given a short period of time
We-
to put in a ring of spell storing, probably a 60-foot radius silence.
Okay.
That way they have a hard time even getting out of it, even if they do try and run.
Okay, let's collect that. Next.
Yes, Mike?
On our way into Dwender, I would like to go by Marionettes.
Nice.
Okay.
There's an item that they have for sale that I've been wanting for 37 sessions.
And what's in there?
The magical pigments that are going to paint us a hole in the side of this estate.
Remember, there are magical protections on the walls.
Dispel.
It's worth a shot.
It's a backup plan. Dispel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Say, I do have
once
some
we're
of
in,
that.
And why did you say marionettes?
Because that's the name of the shop. Marionettes,
He
Marvelous
made a
Magical
note.
Goods.
He wrote it down 37 sessions ago.
Did I actually mention a shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
see it's
Because
I was there
was
for that
looking
one.
for it, and
It was too expensive.
Dontirum, and you're
I
like,
understand that reference.
Okay.
nope,
Not
here.
here. Right,
But
the
if you ever go
sister
to
shop.
Dwender-
The sister shop to Mal's Marvelous Goods.
yes.
Yeah.
If you
That's
ever go to
correct.
Dwender-
Actually,
And
just
we're
roll
going
now
to
because it's been 6 months and see if they moved it to the other shop.
That's,
somebody
well,
else's
the,
spot.
Don Turum's been evacuated, so
Hey,
all of
somebody
Don
else's
Turum's
spot.
shop
Roll.
It's just
Okay, well,
on
which means
the
you still
shelves.
get
Okay,
discounts.
So,
Okay.
Because there's now broke.
Wait,
we
so,
wanna-
so
so
do
the plan
we
is
need
we
to do
attack
an
them at the
illusion
door?
or fog spell over
do
when
something.
the battle starts?
Well,
I
here's
would-
silence and fog.
here's the thing.
Silence and illusion.
if
I'm
you
wondering,
let
do we?
if you
Do we
let
even need
him
to?
close the door again, then that's going to be difficult. But if you put a silence on him while he's trying to close the door, they're going to freak out and just run back inside. So you kind of have to
Ambush.
ambush.
That's when you
Can we
got the
do
cute elf lady
invisibility
with the
spells
big titties.
or anything?
Do we know how?
I do not have invisibility spells.
Do
but
we
I have
know
ethereal.
how many people is with him when he goes?
Him and his and 2 brothers.
And 2 brothers. Okay, that's not a lot.
Do you have
Do
invisibility?
we?
Yes,
want?
I do. I can cast that on myself as many times as I want, but I can't spread it around. So, it's a question for the DM. So, it's mentioned that the magical wards block teleportation. Do they block scrying?
It is not known how much divination stuff that they block or how much other magical things. It is merely said that Lady Forlorn attempted to teleport inside the facility and was incapable of doing so. You would assume, it would be best to assume the magical defenses are higher rather than lower.
Then do we want?
They are
okay.
also thick. They are 10-foot thick walls. As there is patrols walking on the wall.
Do we want a distraction team and an infiltration team?
I could create undead and throw them at the gate.
I could also disguise the party should we need to.
We have 2 one
I
shift.
could also just grow some tits.
He can.
I literally
Just
think
distract
he should
them.
grow tits, and then as soon as they're walking out, flash them, or just proposition
And
them.
then when we cast
And then-
silence,
and
they
they're
won't
stunned,
realize
and
it.
We
they're
also have
stunned.
another pair of tits.
I want you to roleplay Warden trying to get Nari to flash her tits at these guys.
Warden
Persuasion.
knows the anatomical everything of everyone in the party because he knows how to heal all of you.
Yeah, and Nari knows how small your dick is, but we don't need to go.
I don't have one.
Exactly, it's fine.
Warden
Metaphorical
has
dick.
stated multiple times in the
It's
campaign.
He is fully non-functional.
But you're attracted to mine.
No, that's a joke.
True erectile dysfunction. Not a
If you watch the videos, you'd understand.
Next gen is also next gen.
Question. This is
Yes.
one thing you didn't put on my custom magical item. When did the charges reset?
Long rest.
Okay.
They all should go as long rest. Both items.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we
Um,
need? Sorry. Go ahead.
Marquet speaks up. Perhaps a distraction team would not be in the worst ideas. There is a
Because
few opportunities.
The guardhouse is on the complete opposite side of the gate that we would be trying to enter into.
The stables is also on the opposite side.
Yeah, I'd noticed them as well. If you could let the horses out,
So,
then it
I was just saying
might
kill
be a
the
great
horses.
distraction. Problem is trying to get
If
over
If you
there.
just fireball a bunch of horses, they're gonna yell and scream. You ever heard a horse scream? Well, that are very distracting.
Well, perhaps putting the entire location on
hero's
high alert is not the best of ideas.
Yeah.
We would like the active guardsmen to participate,
Yeah.
not those who are sleeping as well.
We'd like it to look clandestine.
I can put them back to sleep. No. Punch.
If I still have my druid levels, awesome.
Okay. Well, that throws it off a little bit
All right.
because I was
Let's go
thinking
shopping.
of a smaller team going in around either the southeast gate or the southern gate, being a big old fucking distraction, and we either have a smaller team or a bigger team going from the northern gate, heading into Rinwald, capture the guy, set some type of flare or flash system to know the distraction team to get the fuck out. Boom.
Question. Okay. Yeah.
Do
Distraction
you-
flare.
Do you have
Yes.
confidence that you have members in this party who could
I
talk
know-
their way into this facility in the dead of night?
It depends.
Just the two of them.
I can. Hey,
He'll literally
Well-
have boobs.
you could talk to my old wife. I mean, she could get us in pretty easy, but she's gone, isn't she?
She is on other missions.
Yes. Because the collars are definitely not the most important mission.
Do you believe you are not up to the task?
There's up to the task, and there's doing it without casualties. We'll get it done one way or the other.
We do not care about their casualties.
No.
As
I'm
far
not
as
talking
we
their
can tell,
casualties, I'm talking us.
as far as we can tell, there are only 40 guards on detail. It is large enough that if you engaged even a quarter of them, which I assume you would likely be able to handle, the others would not be able to get there before the rest died. They would come in waves. However, obviously that would be unwanted.
Chances are just as good that the bloody booger has a ring or something that'll let him teleport out, even though teleportation isn't active, which means we've got to do this on the down low.
Yeah.
We can't, if we spook him, he's just gone.
Cast
Exactly.
anti-magic
Okay, yeah.
field.
That's fair.
That could be very valuable, and we're probably going to need it, but not to get in. We'll have, unless it's big enough, like that's too big of an area to cover correctly.
Yeah. It's
But once
only a
you-
couple feet around you. It's only like 10 feet, 30 feet around you.
It's like, but as soon as
Plus
we
control weather would be more useful.
Walls?
What'd you say?
How tall are the walls?
The walls are about 35 or so feet tall,
Question. Do you
and
have
they are
the spell
slanted, so
Greater
they're very
Restoration?
tough to
Yes.
climb.
They always have it prepared because certain members
Or
of the
slanted
party
the
always
wrong
want to
way,
get
sorry.
cursed. Or feeble-minded.
So we're going to do this quickly and quietly.
Speaking of,
That
Speaking of
happens
people,
one time.
What?
I could just
if we were
fly
worried
over.
about him trying to get
You
away,
could fly. However, there
He's
are
invisible,
guards
and then you can
very,
spray
very,
restoration
very.
There are
He's
he's
Asian
he
missiles
can be,
on
he
the
can be
river.
invisible and
I
do
have a
it,
spell feeble mind. I can
but
cast it on him.
the
and
magical
then
defenses
you
might
can tie him up,
catch you
remove anything
flying
that might
invisible.
teleport, and then you can
Yeah.
cast
I
Greater
also have
Restoration.
Geish, or Geese, or Geist, or however you want
Geish.
to
Do
pronounce
they
it.
know what the magical
Yeah.
defenses are?
gotta be
They
one of those
only
two.
know about
I could
teleportation.
Geish him, so...
They only know they can't teleport. Alright, so regardless, we need to leave, take the device, and start heading that way.
Finch says, if it would be preferred that you do some more planning here, we could teleport you to the guild house of the insect Recratus inside of Dwinder.
So we
That
don't
means we have
a
the rest of the day to
plan
prepare
yet,
in Dwinder.
guys. Like I said, we need a full-out plan. This is a taunt.
Hey, can I recall my knowledge on whether or not meld with stone would work on a magical magical stone? If I'm assuming that the entirety of the wall has some form of a magical barrier, can I still meld with the stone?
Can you still meld with the stone? Probably not.
Damn.
They do
If I dispel the
dispel
area?
magic in an area, can they?
Because I could dispel.
You
and
don't know
then-
how high a level the dispel would need to be. You may be able to attempt something of the sort. Whether you'd be successful or not is another story.
I mean, even if
Why
it
would
is
we
higher
need to
level,
do
you
that?
can
We don't need a
DC
flare.
10 plus spell
Alright.
check.
Alright. Well,
I could.
but
all we know
probably
is
the better.
northern
10
gate.
07.
Yeah.
So
Either way, we can go to
I don't think we're gonna get to combat tonight.
Marionette
Likely not.
and her now
So let's
Marionette and her brothers.
not rush for it.
But
Alright.
since
Yeah, let's get teleported so he can go
that the
shopping.
guy we were
I can see what
singing
other
about
items they have at the shop.
It would
Uh,
be.
All we know is
that
north
and
gate. We haven't even
the
thought about how to get into the
stuff.
mansion.
I was gonna say it is rather
It is.
conspicuous, but I
Behind them.
could.
Yeah,
Get us
because we
moving
met him on
along.
our way back to the
I still have a box of 2,500
Old
cards.
stove,
that
it could create a ramp
passing
up.
out.
They'll
Which
see
means we'll
that.
stay
Like I said, it was
even at his
conspicuous,
sister's
but I could
place,
do
'cause
it.
he's there now.
We need a way to where no guards will be able to alert other guards or alert the head man
Well, the
that we need to
silence
try and
should
get.
take care of that,
Figure out
should
how
it
much
not?
a greater invisibility.
Not if there's guards on the other side that aren't in
It's probably
silence.
makes sense.
They can ring a bell still.
I don't
Well,
know.
if they see us, they can.
It is well
Or
illuminated.
in
If you
trouble.
guys take a look at the map, there are a lot of lanterns around the outside
My current
of
goal
So-
is
the facility.
probably-
So it is a well illuminated area
If we
with
pop-
constant patrols.
If we pop silence, you've got it ringing, and then I have it like,
Uh,
and you do.
I was
Question-
planning on making
oh, wait,
it
no,
like
never mind. I see what that is.
torrential downpour.
Yeah. Well,
The note doesn't state how often
would
things
they
go in and out of the
still
smithy, do they?
go horny boy if
No, they do not.
he's wet?
Actually, that's a good
And
point.
what exactly is this guy
So
leaving again?
could we do
Um,
something
In
fog,
about
like have a lot of fog come in?
36
Um,
hours.
Enough that
Okay,
could you
no.
do
Why
weather
don't we just
control
camp
for a
out in
fog
the
bank instead
smithy
of just
before,
Do we know-
before
we can
it's
fog.
time?
yeah, just,
Heavy wind,
Jump
thunder,
them when we get there.
just
lightning,
Or
temperature.
when they're coming out.
let's just do heavy fog, and then we'll slap silence on it.
Do we want to do like high heat, make it to where he wants to strip?
We.
No.
Okay,
Hold on.
so we're gonna cast silence for sure. We know we need to cast silence. Okay.
No.
Warden is gonna do
Question.
a
Fog.
torrential downpour.
We don't know how
He'll
easy
do
the gates
okay.
are to
Okay.
open.
Well,
Light
if-
rain and fog.
The
Yeah.
gates are
Light
all
rain
closed
and
down.
fog.
Yeah, just
no,
just
how
enough.
easy are they to open?
that
How easy are they to
don't
We don't
open?
know.
Well, they are pretty heavy duty, at least from the
And
description Lady Forlorn gave. You would assume that it is not something you're just going to be able
It's
to
gonna be like thunderstorms are far off, but
or punch through.
scare.
Like these are 10-foot thick walls, heavy,
Nari, do you have
thick,
control
at
flame?
least oak and
Control
iron
flame, no.
gates.
I was just
Going
thinking you
through
might
them
snuff
is
the-
not gonna. It's
the
obviously
torches and stuff
probably gonna be
off
harder
the
because there's gonna be
wall,
more magical
but
defenses on the gates
I
than
don't
the
have
walls
any.
themselves.
I was wondering if I could potentially sneak in and try to open it from the inside.
It's possible, but it would be difficult for you alone.
I mean, I have invisibility.
I thought I had.
Well, to like physically lift them alone.
Well,
Dependent
I
upon
figured
whether
I'd
there's a
go in-
mechanical-
I was gonna say, I figured I'd go in while somebody else was, and then assuming if there's like some sort of
I can do
mechanical
both.
method to get it
We're
that
trying to
way.
kidnap them, get information out of them.
Okay, kidnap first. Got it.
Okay,
So
now we
we-
know how to get in.
okay.
Now we need to figure out a way to get the guy.
Finch
Okay.
denotes. One thing to recognize in this is the fact that going through any of the larger gates would generally be noticed by someone, whether the gate was left open or open at all. There is likely some higher magical defenses. I believe the reason why Lady Forlorn mentioned this smaller gate by the temple is the fact that it is less looked after.
Is the temple outside of the wall?
No, it is inside the
It
walls.
is inside.
This
corner.
is a fort, correct?
This is an estate.
Mistake.
You could call it a fort with how heavily fortified it is.
Okay. Warden
Coca-Cola
would like
Cola
to
shop.
dial. I mean, given the fact that Karth and my hippo boy is right there. I probably gave a couple of stones to my smithy boys.
Okay.
Most trusted smithy boys. I'm going to dial one of my smithy boys and ask, hey, do we have any orders going to
Rinwall.
Pekar Rinwall's mansion?
Go ahead and roll me a d20. If you roll a 19 or 20, we'll go ahead and say yes.
Damn. I'll roll this. Oh, I can't fit this one in there.
Guidance!
Actually,
Sorry. I'm just kidding.
I may reduce it to just a 20 because Pekar was not a well-known.
But is
buyer
he buying, or is anyone in his estate buying weapons?
Like guards or stuff.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Like the priest.
I'm still going to reduce this to a 19 or 20.
Okay.
So you have a 10%.
Get a big dog.
And we'll, obviously this is a luck check effectively. So,
So can I have my plus 3?
it will, you, on the die, has to be a 19 or 20.
Oh. That's not.
12.
Damn.
Well,
I tried.
Question. How tall
'Cause
is
then I could've
the
delivered
biggest
the weapons.
part, like the highest up part of the mansion?
About 80 feet.
So I've got a potion of flying and a potion of a potion of invisibility and a box with a whole bunch of body parts from Vlukar and their cousins that I can't remember the name of.
The Lantox, yeah.
If y'all want a distraction, I just fly up like 200 feet and start dropping Vlukar body parts on the ramparts.
I think.
I do believe that would raise the high alarm.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
we're trying to avoid that.
I was gonna say, I
Actually.
don't
That's,
think
a good,
distraction-
that's the distraction when we want to get out.
Actually, what if he did that on the other side of the estate?
No, because it's still gonna alert everyone.
And they're
If you
just
have a
going to run
potion of
back
flying,
in the gate.
can't you just fly over
Having
the
no
walls?
detection rate would
Yes.
be better than
Detection,
having
yeah.
a detection rate anywhere
Depending
else.
on what the
Fair.
magical defenses are.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Is there something where you can take like a guiding stone or something that someone can open a portal to? Do you guys have any magic at that level or anything like that?
no.
Uh,
Regardless,
I mean, I can
a-
open walls,
Of
but
course
if
you
it
can
is
anyway.
at if it is at all possible, it would obviously be preferred that no one knew that you were there until morning. Whether that means taking Pekar out with you, or finding a room in there that's secluded enough that no one will hear his screams.
I was going to say, my idea, if teleportation works, trying to target locations inside the mansion, we can't just go in and out, I could teleport on top of that roof and drop a rope down for the rest of you to climb. And then we could be at the top of the mansion where, presumably, Pekar would be close to it.
Wait a second. Warden's just like thought you said rope, and Warden just like flashes his hook. He's like, wait a second.
He's grappling.
He has a grappling hook launcher from his arm. Alright, so we
Yeah,
got 4
part of
guards.
my arm just turns into a
We
grappling
got
hook
40
launcher.
guards total.
Made of reinforced
We don't know.
steel and rope.
Is what they said.
Yeah.
40 guards. That means there's usually 20 on, 20 off, just as a standard. That's
We should
typically
have
how it goes.
At least someone going
That'd probably be
from the
split
gates.
per each gate. Which there's one,
so
two.
They patrol the walls as well.
Patrol, okay.
Yeah, so there will be stationary people at each gate, and then there will be wandering
Rollers.
patrols. Then there will be wandering patrols on the grounds.
So we need the sneakiest people, but also someone that can be intimidating to find.
So we need the sneakiest people going in through the gate to silence that guy and do all that shit.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, the rest of us that are not sneaky travel on my grappling hook through the wall.
Well, here's the thing. If it's foggy and it's quiet, the guys above won't see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Fair point.
I don't think we have to worry
so,
about that.
um,
But-
once you go through the gate, we take the bodies with us and we go straight into the temple. Or we shove them right down the bag of holding. We just.
But they can't survive in there long, right? And we're
Well,
supposed
we
to
don't give a crap
interrogate.
about these guys.
Well, but we're supposed to interrogate.
Somebody
These
else.
these
Yeah.
are
I guess
the
that's
members
right.
of the faith leaving out
You're
the back
right,
door
you're
for a
right.
brothel.
All we have to do is get
Balls.
them, get their heads, just get them in the bag of holding, or kill them and throw the bodies in the bag of holding, and then move on. That we can get through the gate. Once we're through the gate into the location, we have 2 options. One, replace the guards on the wall after we kill them, and leave 2 people there. One being Mike, and someone else
Well,
with a
if I make the
disguise.
fog high
I
enough.
personally think we just leave them because there's no need to let the guys on the gate. Let's just kill the bodies, get them to sneak in. At that point, we've got time prior to the return to get in and to begin to infiltrate. The gate is right here by the temple, correct?
Yes, the gate is just north
So
of
we
the
can
temple.
get into the woods and get under cover fairly easily if the fog is good.
And we got tree cover to begin with as well.
What I would also do is I would, if we could stop at the place and they have potions of invisibility, I'd buy some and have us set up around the gate, not use the slots. Between the fog and the invisibility, we'd be in a very good spot to engage them, kill them, and do that, and then get in. Once we do that, let's get under the cover of woods and then evaluate. We either go directly into the temple and clear it, just that way it's cleared, and we can kind of have a place where we put bodies. We can make sure that's safe. I have a feeling there's tunnels from the temple into the mansion.
There is an archway that kind of blocks
Yeah.
it from the sun and any weather. As it's not necessarily uncommon for him to visit, for Haykar to visit the temple at random hours of the day.
So,
That'd be funny if he was just there.
it is possible, but
So
we don't know the inside of the mansion.
Mansion.
I
which
do
is not
like
really
Do
your
we have
idea
a
to get
brain
inside.
reading? Anyone who can read brains or probe thoughts?
I
Yes.
technically
Detect
I have
thoughts,
tech thoughts.
I have
which you can
also
probe
detect
with.
thoughts.
I have
How many
inside
casts do you
soul.
What did you say?
I said I have inside soul. I also have true seeing.
You have, I think you
Okay.
picked up my
do
helmet
have
spell.
true-
We might need to talk about that later.
Okay, so
I have 3.
That's just like always something I can prepare, but I don't have
will
it prepared.
probably.
Okay.
It would be best if we could find someone in the chapel we could gag and torture, and you could get their thoughts. We'll just chop body parts off of them and ask them questions and keep them gagged. You get the thoughts; they'll be on the top when you
Yeah.
think about it. We'll get the layout, finish them
Nice.
off, and then move on.
As well.
Yeah. So anyway, this is Nibs' point of view on this because he had to kill people. He had to kill allies for this job, so he doesn't give
Yeah.
a shit about anyone in here.
Yeah, we know. I
Uh,
already can tell.
yeah. So yes, anything that can be added. I'm just saying, let's. I think the gate makes sense.
Yes.
Just get it done. Get in.
Do
trees.
you realize the earlier in the afternoon I can get my weather effects started within 5 miles of this place, the more pronounced I can make the weather
Right.
effects.
Which is why we'll get teleported there
yes.
here in an hour or two. So you were saying, and there's ton that can be added, but we don't know the layout. So I would prefer us not to blow very many spells trying to get in through that bloody gate, and leave the guards on top. We can always go new killer on the way out.
Mhm. So
Well, they did say
Sounds
they
okay.
didn't want anyone to know that we were there till the morning. So
If at all
So-
possible.
But it doesn't. If we get the
I
inside,
think
as long as we
should
get
do
the
a
guy.
plan is once we get in and assumedly interrogate either the priest or one of his guards as to the layout of the Rindwall mansion, find where Rindwall's room is. At this point, I believe it's a fair assumption to make that it's likely in one of these two parts that are jutting out, or rooms, whatever you call them. I could teleport, assuming the teleportation is allowed, or in between the grounds, teleport up to the top and drop a rope, so then we can break into the top. Or, if teleportation is not allowed, perhaps a potion of flying will be. If neither of those are allowed, then we'll have to go to supposed to be plan C.
he has a grappler.
Grapple. Plan C.
fire up to 120 feet, and can carry the weight of
Yes.
at least half the party at once.
Well, once you're up there,
Not
you drop a
including
rope
me.
down. But,
Yes.
Go
But it's like I would rather just have everyone hugging me and just
yeah.
That's what you
No, they
want.
just climb up the rope, like the thing, and then I would go up solo because
yeah.
You wait.
I weigh too much. The only ones that could climb with me
So
were the
do I
two small
now.
people
So
in the
does
party,
my name.
and we currently only have one.
Yeah.
So, get up there, drop a rope down for everybody else to follow. Potions of invisibility would be a great idea. Then from that point, we can break in through the mansion at the top, and from there, find where the Pekar is, interrogate him, and then make the same way out.
No, I don't think we interrogate him. We get the fuck out, and we leave the interrogating to when we get the fuck out.
There's a one
Problem
side
with that
issue.
is-
There's yes.
We need to take him out with us.
Taking him out is going to be much more difficult than leaving once we got the intel. I mean, granted, we should get as much as we can from him, and then if he's still alive, I'm assuming Warden can keep him alive long enough. Then
Yeah.
we can take what's left of him out. But he won't need his arms, his legs, or anything like that on for the
Keep him alive with
departure.
a cantrip.
He'll be a lot lighter.
Marquet
It'd be a
denotes.
lot lighter.
I would
C3PO
say it
on the
entirely
back.
depends on how much of a ruckus you make on your way in, on if you take him out with you.
We can
If
knock
you
him
make
completely
an intense
on
ruckus, then
this
interrogating
just
him
spare
there
him,
would
you
likely
know?
be less than helpful. But if you are able to get in fairly silently and are able to find a location inside the mansion to interrogate him, then that is likely the better course of action. But regardless, he's supposed to be leaving in a couple days.
One thing I would note is if we want to, let's say, leave this dismemberment for another time, it could incapacitate him and we could drag him out a lot easier.
I can touch him, spare the dying. We can practically kill him, and I can just not.
Dependent on how much time we would maybe have with him, there is a possibility we could also erase some of his memories. Possibly reintroduce him. Because no matter what, if the Oxstone God knows that we have the information of the headquarters wherever they may be, the defenses on them will improve drastically overnight, as soon as they know we have the information of them.
Well, can any of us do any reintroduction of memory? Because we can't, or we can't wipe his memory somehow. Then is if we leave him alive, he'll let them anyway.
I can give him CTE.
Brain damage.
The truth of the matter. I don't really see a way that we have the skill set to program this bastard and let him go free. Shrug and goes, well, if that's not off the books, then I think justice, or at least vengeance for all those that he's fucked over, is much more rewarding. There's also, I could always just try the old meat mittens to redo his memory. You just beat the shit out of him enough and he won't remember a damn thing.
I think you would remember that somebody beat the shit out of him.
No, he'd be brain dead. I would.
No. No.
And then,
Well, then all of his allies would easily be able to tell someone beat the shit out of him.
Aye.
And somehow I doubt we can make this look like a suicide
So-
or an accidental
I can
death.
just lie through my
unless we
Like,
look
Looks like
some-
a suicide.
Well, should I say basic?
Do you got any poisons that are assassin that could mimic a heart attack or a stroke?
Mike?
Mike, Mr. Assassin, do you got any poisons or poison recipes that can mimic that of a heart attack or a stroke? Or maybe a brain aneurysm?
Wait a second.
You just paralyze them.
No, I mean in...
Two things.
I
One,
think that would be
Permanently?
good justice, yeah.
if we want
DM was
to,
smiling at me because I made a realization.
if we wanted to,
Fails enough.
we could say kill him, introduce some alcohol into his system, and then throw him off the balcony. Perhaps he slipped and fell.
Oh, fuck it.
The other issue.
Why don't you just take his place?
However,
That's a fair point.
I could,
I could feign death,
if I
on
can
him,
get enough information from him.
but he needs to be willing.
We can make it last long enough.
the issue I think we all might be overlooking is that this man is rich enough to potentially afford some sort of resurrection.
Aye.
Feign death.
Well,
Command him
don't-
to be willing.
Don't we have something? Don't one of us have something like Soul Cage we could use on the poor bastard? We had a soul prison for a while. We filled it with a demon, but
It's with them. in
It
the
still has a
ritual.
demon.
It still has
Yeah,
the
as far as
It
we're
still
aware.
has the demon. And it's in the ritual currently.
We do have the scroll of teleportation.
You
Yes,
still got
and
the
it
wish.
Still has things on
Yeah.
it.
We still
but
have a
it
wish,
goes
though.
in.
We could just
The genie?
teleport him here.
We could
We
just fuck
should
this
not
over
use
and
the last wish on this guy.
Or
I feel like there's better things that we could use this wish on.
I
we could
wish
just
for
wish
this
him to be
bitch to be
teleported
here
to us
now.
right now.
Hold on. Did I use genie?
Pardon?
Did I hear said you had a wish from a genie?
Oh no, it's
No.
a gin.
Okay.
Not talking.
I figured they'd have used them by now. I've been gone 6 months and I had some serious self-discipline. What did you use the other 2 wishes on?
2 birds, 1 stone.
Excuse me? What was that?
2 birds, 1 stone. It was a very, very funny moment
I
where,
remember.
yeah.
I am
So-
rather unfortunately out of today.
He's a bird, and they were talking about using the wish for his sister.
So we
Also
can knock
a
out
bird.
2 birds
Also
with
a
1
bird.
stone, and he was like, not cool.
Effectively.
I literally just sat there and stared at her. And like
We can
30
kill 2
seconds
birds
later,
with 1
she's
stone.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I did that!
It was awesome
Why did you use that for?
because she did. Because she was like, you guys showed me the video of it.
Oh my gosh.
Brother just turned into Gabriel Iglesias for like 2 seconds. Turned into the female Gabriel Iglesias voice.
If I animate a large object, could I technically just like float people up to the top of the wall?
It would be very, very slow.
You know, the
It would
funny thing
work.
is
We're in
that
fog.
I,
We're not in a rush.
We're in fog. But there are patrols. Like, it's still. Your fog would make maybe visibility 20, 30 feet.
Just a guard passing by. What's up, dog? It's just like a floating guy walking. So,
Hold on, wait a minute.
just,
And you just said he's gone.
Hi, John. Hello, Ron.
Thinking of the.
That
hi, Ron. Hey, Billy. I'm glad seeing you here.
So, all right.
I also have unlimited silent image and minor illusion.
Okay.
Check. I'm just thinking of like the VR chat where it's like.
So, what did you use?
They're coming up out of the fog.
we used it to get his sister out of captivity
All right.
after chasing her and her captives for quite some time.
You're just like, we're done.
Yeah.
And then
Wait,
still
what was the
proceeded to
first one?
continue.
And then
going
proceeded to
after-
still kill the dragon and all that, but it's fine.
But we didn't go to the fortress.
But we didn't have to go to the fortress.
You didn't go
What
to
did we use
Fortress.
this first one on?
We did.
You guys
Oh,
only
you're
had 2.
right, you're
We
right.
only have 2.
So we still have one.
So
I
Warden's
think
got it.
it's referred to
Kethrak used the first wish to become a
You've
dead
got it right.
Warden just kind of looks blankly at you for a moment.
Tampa.
It's like, well, it better not be with Drake. We all know what he's gonna use it for.
I'm glad that you get that joke now. We're good.
It is kept somewhere secure. Warden sitting here going, where in my body did I put it again? I completely forgot I had
It's a cock.
Brother's like, I hid it from myself so that a certain something couldn't use it.
It's in his comp piece.
Actually, fair point.
I was gonna say that's likely accurate of what happened. Like, it would take
All right.
active attempts to remember
So-
where you put it.
Let's do a quick review. Because no plan is going
I'm writing,
to
so
survive.
I'm writing down. Cast
the
silence,
DM.
rain, fog, thunder.
Y'all are the ones
brothers.
who fuck up your plans, or the dice do, not me.
Kill the brothers. So the goal is to kill the brothers.
Yeah.
The priest and the
We
brothers.
need to go over all
Kill
of our
or
controls.
Right.
knock them out and shove them in the bag of
Shove
holding.
them in the bag of
Why
holding.
use massive tits?
Sneak
if they're
inside into the
priests?
woods and take
They're going
invisibility
to a
before.
brothel.
Was that what we were gonna do?
Before
They
invisibility.
don't know the
before.
age of the
Invisibility before. Beautiful.
If we've got enough,
Actually,
we'll
yeah.
use multiple.
Why don't we do that?
What type
like,
of,
prior to
uh,
killing them?
Yes.
What type
yeah,
of
that's
fine
what-
dining do these guys do at brothels? What are they looking for here? We don't know if it's big.
12 and
We should
under.
have him visit one of the brothels
God damn it.
Yeah, yeah.
and
I
just
know
see
you
what
wanted
the
it,
what
but
the
man, you're too hard
what
for
the
that.
menu looks like, and then just
Go
become an
visit the
addition to
brothel
menu.
for a little bit,
No.
chill out, and
Oh,
then
great.
one of the brothel ladies just get her image, and then you shoot. That way he'll
Literally.
recognize her. Hey, go have fun for an hour.
Drake aged, preferably.
10 minutes, bro's just there,
Staring.
middle of intercourse,
And
just
the thing is if you're sitting there
Staring contest.
the thing is,
thrusting hips.
If you're sitting there staring, no one's gonna question it because everyone is.
Anyway, can we teleport to the city? Get our
If they
get our
both
stuff.
do it. It would be like prepare.
It is
for trouble
about
and make it.
9 or so a.m. at this point after your guys' discussion so far, and you're able to teleport whenever. Finch can get you guys there whenever.
Okay, so we get the device from we get the
Protect
spell ring from him.
Yeah, he will have 2 castings inside of it.
2 castings.
2 castings of silence with a 60-foot radius.
Okay,
Two
you got that.
You can
and
possibly
60.
transform into someone who
Ring.
is familiar with from
30
that
seconds.
problem.
Okay, so we're gonna take
You'd
invisibility
only be gone
potions.
for like 30
We're gonna
minutes,
kill the
so-
brothers, stuff them into the bag of holding, sneak into the woods, and are we going into the
I would say the chapel depends
Chapel.
on. Do we know if there's more brothers and more people than the 3?
You would assume there's likely acolytes, but you don't know if they sleep in the temple. You know that these 3 leave at night for a period of time before coming back after some debauchery.
I would think if we could avoid that, that'd probably be helpful.
We could
Unless
avoid-
there's some sort of direct path from
Well-
the mansion to the.
So
There kind of is. Like, you can go around the temple and get to the archway.
I'd
So-
rather avoid the temple if
the
necessary.
reasoning behind it is I don't think we'll be able to not kill the 3 brothers before, because we had to do it fast and get in.
Yeah.
So my thought was he can study a dead body long enough to walk into the chapel. Once he walks into the chapel, we can get the info from the acolytes of the layout.
What is stopping you from getting the information from one of the brothers or the father
Because
himself?
it's doubtful we can incapacitate them, drag them
Long
in,
enough without being
and then wake them up and interrogate them, and get that information in the woods with the guards right there.
Does it have to be in the woods, or can we just go? How late are the
I
the
mean,
shops open across the street?
They would definitely be closed by midnight.
Why don't we just break into one of the shops? That would give us privacy,
Guys.
and we're out of view.
So this is I've got to leave early to start the weather transformation. So
we can discuss
I
this
can
at
use
the place.
my flying,
Okay.
and as the first fogs start to come in, I can just kind of sit up there and kind of just watch what's going on down below.
For hours.
And not be spotted how?
Yeah.
Because I'm a
Fog.
mile in the air.
Then how are you seeing?
Because I've got
Invisibility.
farsight goggles that are
He
in my
does have
eyes.
long
So
range
he has to
goggles.
put his-
He also could be invisible.
And I don't need to necessarily make out finer details, which I can technically, but I just need to track movements of what things are.
Each rotation is 12 seconds.
Yeah, I can get I can mark the exact rotations of guards and everything.
So in
We
the
could
woods.
just have Octavia sit on the roof.
We could
across
also
the
have
way.
Octavia chill with me. Get 2 perspectives.
Alright, so we teleport there with the stuff and we're at the base.
So you guys are. Is everybody ready to
I
teleport?
mean, we can't get anything besides the ring here.
Yeah.
They
So
don't
it takes
have-
Finch about an hour to get that prepped because that is spell fuckery. But when you guys teleport to at the capital, Finch kind of opens up the teleportation, gives his brother a hug, wishes him luck on his mission, and setting out to Dwinder with Robin in tow. You guys are teleported to the guild house of the Ensec Recratum. Where inside you guys are in a illustrious, like, purple felt-lined room. As you guys teleport in, there is no sound as you touch the ground. It's just such a soft floor that this teleportation circle is set inside. As you step outside, you immediately, or most of you, everybody but Robin, sees one familiar figure, a fairly tall, human-looking woman with blonde hair in a blue dress. Oh, no.
Oh, this is Karis Underwood?
This is Karis Undervale. Yes.
She's in the chat.
And she is there along with seemingly a dwarf, a human, and a half-elf, all sitting inside this room discussing something.
Were those the figures that you saw?
No, they are not.
There was an orc.
Yes, there was a half-orc in one of them.
Was a half orc and a half elf?
It was either a half-elf or an elf.
Yeah, I can't remember if it
was a half elf or full elf.
It was elfy of some kind. So with that, you guys kind of step in, and Karis kind of peeks over. Well, I was not told you were coming. Seems this is becoming somewhat of a constant with you.
I just look her straight in the face, deadpan, and go, I'm coming. Now you're aware.
She kind of smirks and turns to the others. We really need to put some kind of lock on that door.
No.
The other three are just like open mouthed, wide eyed, like, what are we even looking at? And she says, these are my comrades, along with your hippo friend from Karth. These are our compatriots. The dwarf is Krekar Jinra. The human here is Kristen Court. And our half-elf here is Harris Langstram. We were just discussing how long we were going to be here. Would you happen to know any more information on that regard?
Warden gives the exact countdown to the solar event that they're doing this thing for.
Which is at this point 11 days away.
11 days, 12 hours, and 37 minutes, 47 seconds.
Well, that's not when we need to leave by, correct? That is just when things go down.
How quickly can you tell them?
Yes.
Depends on where we are.
Then you have that much time.
Well, that gives us something more to discuss. I'm assuming you're not here for a visit.
When was the last time we came to
It's like, well,
Besides the cart
actually,
that was
we
burned.
are here for a visit.
Just not for
not
us.
For you.
Well, then you are welcome to leave at any point. The door is just down. It is about 17 flights down.
What a gentle
And it will be your third door on the right.
17 flights down.
Yes.
That's
I pray
Nibs is going to
Jump out the
give her a little salute, and I like the dress color. Blue is a good color.
Blue is a good color.
He was red last time they met.
Yes, he was.
So he's gonna just kind of look over at Yunari and go, I feel like shopping. Besides, I'm sure they've got some good beers around here. And he's gonna start heading down the hall to find it, and if there is a handrail, he's gonna hop on it and do 17 flights down.
Go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check.
Alright.
Roll me a cock and ball torture check, bro.
Alright. Do you want, okay,
hijacked-
because I got a
hijacked
plus
his map
18
if
in the
you want
dex
to
save,
draw
but
what
only... Wait, let me double check this. Alright, it is a 5, because I rolled a 2.
Because I haven't.
Nice.
Okay, so as you are sliding down, you
It's
end
a
up
one
slipping and falling into the middle. And the spiral staircase, you just continue to fall. As you're about to hit the ground, you just
Monk.
stop.
Monk.
No, you just stop. There is some kind of arcane spell there to stop you from splatting.
They had a suicide
like-
prevention
I'm like-
hotline at the bottom
I'm
of the
just gonna
stairs.
go, darn it!
Today is not your
Nari!
day.
He goes, Nari! He's like, they won't let me hit the ground. I was gonna show off my new cat-like reflexes and land on my feet.
As you look up, you are screaming because she is like
Yeah,
100
I'm
plus
just,
feet
yeah, because
away.
I'm just kind of sitting there in the air, just kind of rotate up, and I just yell that up at you.
Does he gently?
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no.
take like a little apple or something, or like some sort of food, and just like drop it and see how if his cat-like reflexes still work.
Misses the
Go ahead and roll me a
Are
base
you-
dex check.
Can I use my feature to deflect missile and catch it?
Sure.
Uses a key.
Deflect missile?
It's a
It's an apple.
It fell 17 stories. That's some serious. That's an apple.
That's a terminal
Missiles
velocity.
also-
That's an apple that will deal
That's
a couple
fair.
d6 damage.
That's fair.
Well, I
Which is
hijacked the
awesome.
map. Do you want to draw on it?
What?
Said I hijacked his map. Do you want to draw on it?
Alright, deflect missile.
It's not my. You can edit it. You can download it and edit it yourself.
19
That's what
to catch the
I
apple.
use incarnate stuff.
Yeah, you grab it.
I'm going to.
I don't think you can edit my version. of
I'm gonna
it,
take a
but-
bite and just kind of smile and go, "Thank you. You always know how to make me
If
happy."
I find your account, I can follow you if you don't have it.
Or cheer me up. There we go. That's the
If I
right.
don't
Is that
What?
anonymous?
Hidden.
So I'm just gonna kind of sit there and eat the
I
apple.
would have to find your.
I'm gonna yell back up. Hey, if it caught my weight, I think it'll catch the rest of you. Besides, it's fun. Falling is a lot of fun.
Warden, this entire time has just been casually going.
Brother's using his arms to
Just casually walking down. Anyway,
I grab a hold of the rails.
So does it finish lowering me slowly?
As
do I
soon
just-
as you're wanting to be set down, it sets you down.
Well, the Nibs is just gonna be like kind of trying to swim around.
It only works in the like,
Yeah.
10-foot diameter
I'm just
circle.
swimming around. I'm like just swimming around in the air.
Well, you got a big black bird coming right at you now.
So Mike dives down the big black bird and does end up
I
stopping.
soul one dive the shit out of that.
Yeah, a couple feet from the bottom, you just stop
Well,
and then
Do I
float back.
stop next to him or inside of him?
I got a 6 to
Next
dodge.
Do what?
I got a 6 to dodge.
It's a large enough area. Unless you were actively attempting to hit him, you would miss him.
I mean, I can. Yeah. If it's acrobatics, it's a dex save. I'm actually pretty good at that. That's a 28 with a nat 20. Dex save.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you roll the 20. Anyway. Zenari, you jump off?
I'm assuming
You don't
everybody
wanna
else just kind of slowly
You
makes
don't
their
wanna
way
finish.
down.
Slowly make my way down.
Crack! So as you guys go to the third door on the right and open it, leading out, this is a city. Donturum was pretty well populated, with about 30 or so thousand people inside of it. Donturum is nothing compared to Dwinger.
So it kind of reminds me of the mainland when I was back at the High Church of God.
Yes, very, very different architecturally.
But the density of it.
And for those who spent time in Jelkala, would more recognize that form of architecture along with more of the scope of the city, as Jelkala is only about a 20 or so square mile city with over 800,000 people in its population. Jack is inside right now.
You want to irritate him?
He's just staring at the door.
Hand on the knob. Good. Alright.
But this city, after Donturum and some of the other outward cities have been abandoned, Dwinder's been heavily filled at this point.
Is this something Nibs would have been in this city as part of his cover?
Oh, you were in the city the entirety
That's
of
what
your
I thought.
cover.
That's what
Yeah.
I thought. So Nibs actually knows this area.
Nibs knows the majority of the city fairly well.
And since he was working for the Spy Master, he also knows elements and things of that.
He knows some elements, yeah.
Alright, so I definitely know where the magic shops are.
You definitely know where the magic shops are. They would be on the street of Arcanum, which is a couple miles down, or more like a couple dozen blocks down from the Street of Silver.
And is that this is your call, but would Nibs have had financial caches for emergency setup around for people to tap into if they needed money from the lifespan? Or would those have already
Go
been
ahead and roll me a
used?
luck check. I would say there
Alright.
definitely have been a few. Whether they have been used or not is a different story. And it would probably only be a couple thousand gold per.
Ba-ba-da-da. 15.
15. You go ahead and check a couple on your way to the street of Arcanum, and you are able to find one with 2,500 gold pieces still active in there.
Okay. The 2,500 gold.
And I will also say, Warden is fairly stacked compared to everybody else at this point, as his business, rather than being in debt for an extended period of time, like say an insurance company would be to start out, he was just selling shit with a lot of customers already set in stone. So he's got money.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just blood. Just like I go to surprise him.
Nori
and I
definitely
see
has
blood
some
on his
money,
face, and I'm like,
but most of her money was put into
Yes.
the rebellion
Yeah.
rather than Warden keeping it. Are you gonna go to the bathroom so we can continue or not?
Yeah, you little bitch.
blood for the blood god.
Yeah.
Skulls without skull throw.
Yeah, both are funny enough to be coming from my head too.
Do you want paper towels?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
What?
Nice.
Engineering.
Engineering. So, as you lead them to the Street of Arcanum, what kind of materials are you guys looking for?
Potions
Other
of
than the
invisibility. And
Potions of flight, perhaps.
potions of flight.
I still have one of those actually.
If we needed to force a gate open, a potion of strength might be handy.
I have fire giant strength if we need that.
There it is.
I finally learned how I'm gonna use it.
Well, if you end up needing it on this,
Yeah,
which,
sure.
which hopefully you will not.
health
I mean, I am
potions,
pretty
just in
strong.
case. Are you good up on poisons? Or is there something like when you killed the dragon? Did you guys like get stuff to make like the purple worm venom variant thereof?
We're getting there.
I don't remember if I got anything from the dragon in particular. I've got some.
If we need potions of flying, I have them still. If someone needs it, because
Well-
aren't we?
We're wanting enough that we can drink them and then drink them again if we need to, especially on invisibility. We're wanting invisibility is the big one. So, like, yeah. So, I think invisibility potions is one of the big ones.
I have two.
Yeah,
Also,
I can just,
Yeah.
turns invisible. So you don't need to worry about me.
I have
Turn
like
revisible.
Yeah.
7
Revisible.
different kinds of poisons and acids.
Do you
Yeah,
have any
very good friend.
really serious fast ones?
He has brownies for that.
Well, it's like, is there any poison?
You can be a
that you
whore and hand out
want?
brownies.
When did this become a
Wait.
whorehouse?
Wigs,
Whatever you want
poison
in,
is pretty strong.
Literally.
Those
Yeah,
brownies
I
are
know.
pretty strong.
I do have one, but it has to be ingested.
One
That's
brownie.
8d4 plus 6, 64 plus 6, 44 plus 6, 2d4 plus 6. Over 5 turns, or 4 turns.
What's the con save?
It's ingested.
It just
Yeah,
happens.
So,
If you ingest it, then you just get
pour
it.
it down the mouth.
You also don't know your poison until it's done.
Yeah. But say for those of dwarven heritage, they'll obviously be somewhat resistant to the poisons.
What about drugs?
All right, so we're after primarily health potions, and invisibility potions,
And
and
flight
flight
potions.
potions,
So you would assume
or devices that can give us.
Warden is shopping
Flight.
for a specific item.
what specific item?
And you want pigments.
Well, I'm assuming he would see the cloak and say mine, but he wants.
Dudes.
So,
I have
one
to look at
thing
that.
I just thought of, might not want to lead a trail back to us, so I could just disguise myself,
Wings
go
of
find
flying
somebody
cloak.
else.
Wings of flying?
Cloak. Kind of looks like a raveny kind of cloak, and then I can use an actual command word. And
How long does it go?
it is for the bird wings appear on my back for 1 hour or until you repeat the command word as an action.
Okay.
It is a wondrous rare.
A wondrous rare item. That's going to be fairly expensive. And it's attuned, isn't it?
Yes, I will drop a 2 minute on it.
Okay.
It's basically just a reusable flight potion, isn't it?
Kind of.
Yeah, effectively.
So, what do we need to roll?
But it
Well-
also matches my fashion.
You wanna know what you really ought to get? A rope of useful items.
Oh my gosh.
love
So,
that.
you guys can start by going to the shop that you guys already know about, Marionette's Magical Goods. Upon which, entering inside, there is a wood half-elf behind the counter, female this time. However, her brother is there, so Mal is there.
You walk in.
As you guys step in, Mal seemingly whispers something to his sister, at which she kind of laughs.
Nico, let's go, boy.
and he kind of opens up his arms, saying, "How's been handing out the cards?"
Doing great. I pull out the box of 2,500 and it's only got a few left in it. You got
That
some
is-
more?
We always have more for our consistent patrons. This is my sister, Marionette. Most just call her Mara Mary. She's kind of like, who the fuck are these people and why are they so colorful?
I'm just kind of gonna wander over to Nari and whisper. It's like, so her name is Puppet?
I think you should ask her.
It's Marie
He's like,
Antoinette.
Marionettes are puppets, aren't they?
Yes, you're right. Her name is Puppet. I'm sure that's what they call her. I think that's her nickname.
And Mal says,
Marie
"So,
the
what are we
Puppet
looking for
Antoinette."
today?"
You
What
remember
can I
those
get you?
paints you told me about?
I do remember paints I told you about.
Looking for those.
You're looking for those specifically. Remember, they are quite expensive.
I'm just gonna. He'll take care of it. No,
Go
he didn't
ahead
worry.
and
Sugar daddy,
roll
please.
me, let's say 3d12.
If you need to borrow D12, I can spot one.
Sure.
I'm gonna run this.
I expect that back in a minute.
Okay, so that is a 10, a 6, and a 5. So that is
21.
21.
Okay, so you have 17,000 gold on hand.
So just kind of wipe whatever I have and make it 17.
Wipe whatever you have, make it exactly 17.
Nice.
That's Warden's pocket change, apparently.
That is your
Pocket change.
that is your $1 bills for when you go to Duck Club.
Duck Club. Duck Club.
Hey, sometimes I almost hit a
Always
fiver.
keep. I gotta do
Well,
the
the
math
only
here.
ones and only one for the house.
There, and I always keep pocket. In my actual pocket, I have 1,000. In
They
my
went
bank
to
folder,
earn
I have
5, they would have
Yeah.
been in the new world.
So,
I can always go to the bank.
Or the
with
old
that,
world, I guess.
what can I get for you? What are you looking for today?
What are the paints? How much are the paints?
The paints? The paints are 4,000 gold.
Done.
Cool.
Alright. What
I'll
else
take
are we
care of
looking
it.
for?
So that puts you 13?
Yes.
13. Okay, mark it. He's gonna. How are you looking in the way of flying potions and invisibility?
Fairly well stocked. How many are you looking for?
Oh, it depends on the price. Is there a bulk discount or is there?
Dependent on how many you're getting.
We're already getting the patron discount.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, I saw that in one of the reports I burned. He's gonna because. Well, what's the cost of a single potion?
A single one of either of those potions would, well, the flying would cost about 700, invisibility about 900.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's just. What about 14 for each? What would the discount be that way?
14 of each.
Yeah.
So, you can
Wait, hold
count me
on.
out of any of your math.
I don't
can
think
take
we
care of myself.
have 14 of each.
12 of each?
I would have to check stock. I don't think I've ever seen a purchase of that size.
Well, I'm
We
just.
are patrons for a reason.
Are you
Thanks for the
looking?
Patreon.
Are you intending for 2 per? Is that the
Yes.
intention? Well, let me go check.
I do know there's a delay sometimes on them, but
Give 7 on us.
shit happens, and sometimes you need to get out of
I bet there was only 6
Uh,
on us.
the frying pan and jump
There's
back into the
6.
fire.
So 2 for
Oh,
each.
12.
I still
I
don't like
also
those
have
exact
2
terms
invisibilities and 1
I
flying.
think that
I also have a flying.
out of the fire and back into the frying pan.
I was going to denote some people already have potions or can do
Right.
one
I was
half of
gonna
those
say.
on their own.
I'm just saying.
I can do all of them.
you start. You
Yeah.
need to find out what is available. Run the
Only one at
numbers.
a time.
I want to
Okay,
do
let's.
Well,
so
he's checking.
Both are
stuff.
concentration.
checking
Flying is
stock.
not
He said there'd be a
Flying isn't
discount
concentration.
depending on
I
how
can
many.
double check, but I don't
Yeah,
believe
So
it.
that's
The
why.
fly
I-
spell is
while he's checking
concentration.
I don't have a fly spell. It's a genie ability.
Ah, okay. That makes
Do
a lot
they
of
have
sense.
that cool jet black raven cloak I'm looking for?
Go ahead and roll me a luck check.
Fuck.
If they pull it out and they have what he's asking for, I'll just go like, brother, no!
I'll look like take on your drip.
Go ahead.
Natural 20.
That is a 18 plus 3 is a 21.
Yes, they do have it.
See?
So as they pull it out,
I
it
will
is,
walk
it
up
is
to it
a
and go.
black cloak that will fold into as though it was wings.
Yes, and it has kind of that tuft of raven feathers at the top.
Yeah.
So it
Bro,
looks,
how'd you dye your elytra?
it looks
Finally got
Yes.
It matches
If you want me
my
to read
drip.
off the ability, I can.
No, I trust you. Like I've seen the ability before. I just forgot about that fact. I thought it was an invocation.
Cool. We'll add it to the.
So Mal comes back out and says, in fact, I do have a dozen of both if you are wishing. It would be locked down to, let's say, 1,100 apiece for the pair. One invisibility, one flying.
700 times 12. That's 1320 plus.
Well, I'll dump my. I
4,000
can put 4,000 into that.
plus. Okay, so because we're so that would put us over. Now, if we factor in the fact that some people already have some.
Would Gorsh give me some spending change since I'm be gone from him so much? I usually
No.
get an allowance. I don't get any
Alright,
allowance
so-
from him.
He didn't have a lot of
How
money
much?
going
would-
into
so
it.
you've subtracted
made
out
some.
his stuff and your
He
cloak.
lost it. He's a bad gambler.
Shut up.
You didn't tell me
At the
what's
time that you
bad
guys left the
gambler,
fold,
just
he would
needs
not have had
to
time to
play
fulfill
with
his
the
coffers. Yes.
Yeah.
How much was the cloak?
The cloak was 3,000.
Okay, so,
So
plus
about-
3,000. That puts us
Why did I
at
give him half the money?
20,200 if we buy 2 potions for each person here.
Okay.
But
Are you
like,
looking for any health potions of any kind?
That I would be interested in.
Yes.
Fuck that.
Okay, so how much?
Withstand.
So he said he'd give it to us 11 each for 12. How much money would that be? Is that all the money or less that you have on? I can't remember. Because are you subtracting as you go?
I'm just adding what the total purchase is.
Oh, okay.
So
I was just going to take the total and
the
subtract as we go.
current total purchase would be 20,200.
And you only have 17.
Yes.
Including
With
the
your 4, it would put you
4,000.
about 800 away from max out.
I've
You
got
can
359.
knock one of those pairs off.
So that would be minus.
Would we still get the discount? If we did 10 each, would we still get the discount?
If you did
I wouldn't
10,
need
the
to fly.
discount, things would go to, let's say, 1150 to the pair.
Okay, let's see. 1150 times
Get that
10.
calculator app.
Plus
Hold
7.
on. Just had to make sure what the difference.
So you guys would be at 18,500.
Yeah, I know. But I was just trying to look at the difference between 1150 and 1100 with the subtraction. It's about a difference of 2,000. So 1150 times 10
It's like 17.
plus
100?
4,000 plus 3,000, 1850.
Okay.
Which means
You want me to do 3,500? I'll put
minus,
all right.
well, minus the 17,000 that I have, minus the 4,000 you have. We currently have 2,500 worth left of spending.
Okay, so
Unless anyone else has a coffer
well,
of gold.
I have more money.
I've got
I have more money.
359.
I have more gold. I just wanted to. I would give 4,000. That would leave you guys with about 2,000, I think, left over.
2,500.
2,500. So let's just. I'll subtract my 4,000. You subtract down to what's left,
Okay, hold on.
and then we'll see where we're at for any other
This
purchases.
Robin could certainly dip some of his coffers in as well if need be. But that's up to him to decide how
Robin's
much.
going with it.
I was gonna say I know I have 1,000 gold on my person, although that is
Right,
just like
so
straight from what
you're good
I
on your
upgraded
numbers?
character. I don't know what my current pocket change is.
Let me go in and add it to your character.
Yes, hold on. So, 1850 their total, minus your 4,000. 1450 Okay, so I would have 2,500 left for additional purchases. So yeah, so
Okay.
it's still 2,500 left.
Okay, you've got that.
Yes.
I've got
Is it a
2,549
set of
as
4
well.
paint pots?
Okay.
A set of 4.
Was that
All
what
right.
was in it?
Does
Or
anyone
how
else
many were in the
want
set?
anything before we buy
That was just
potions?
one.
I don't need armor.
One
I
pot?
have
How are
pot.
you guys set for
Okay.
potions?
I don't know how many square
I
feet that
have-
is. Is it?
I could use
A couple hundred or something?
I
I
don't
fly.
remember exactly how
I
much
just-
it is per one.
about
I
it.
just remember. I just know the pots usually come in a 1d4
Although I guess
when
if
they're
we-
like found
need
as
to-
loot or whatever.
Okay.
Wait, I was gonna say.
You should.
That's why I was asking. How
Do
many
you want
pots.
health potions?
Fuck that. I can withstand it. If someone needs to heal me, someone will heal me.
No.
If you want to refresh your character sheet, you have money now.
I was just gonna say
You have a lot of
you
money.
might want some potions because there's a good chance you might get separated from Warden. This is
Then
very
withstand.
flexible.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm
Um,
literally made of metal, and there's no
Each
argument.
pot of paint is 1,000 square feet.
Yeah, it is only one pot.
Okay.
That is a
Nate,
lot of square feet.
How are
for
you
one
set
pot.
for health
singular pot.
potions?
Depends on what I'm making, because it would be square feet and square feet
Yeah.
to make the 3 dimensional.
So to make something through this wall, he would have to go 10 feet deep and at least like 3 by 3 wide. So he'd be using 300
Feet.
square feet just to get through the wall, if it's capable of doing that.
Yes.
How's your potions?
What do you mean?
How are you set for potions? Do you need health potions?
I'm pretty good with potions.
Warden, I assume you don't need health potions because you're a healer.
So
Okay.
I've got a supreme,
Nari, how you doing?
two
I could
superiors,
use,
a greater, and a bunch of little
I
babies,
have-
plus some crafted.
one greater and one supreme.
Okay. What's the Nibs is gonna kind of walk up.
Actually, hang on. I'm sorry. I have 4 regular potions of healing on top of this, so I probably don't.
Well, those don't do much for your level.
I guess it's
Those are kind of
Still-
top off potions.
So, while they're finishing up doing that, Nibs is gonna walk over to the sister and kind of look up at her and go, "Good day, puppets. How are you doing on?"
Don't call me that.
He's like,
My mother named me something stupid. That doesn't mean other people can flaunt it.
"Isn't puppets a term of endearment and
I don't
respect?"
endear to you. At
You're
least as
right,
of yet.
you're-
Until you've bought from us.
Well, that's
He kind of looks over at the money that he piled up over there and goes, "Fair enough. I guess that's not enough money." Anyway, how are you set for health potions and not the wimpy stuff?
We are quite well stocked. In fact, there would be quite a large discount if that pot reached, let's say, over 20,000.
How much is currently
It's
the
at
big
18.
pot of gold?
18.5.
It's 18.5.
Hey, sorry, yeah, 18.5.
How do you want potions?
Healing is just about the one thing I can't do.
Can't or can?
Can't.
So, like I was asking, what's the biggest ones you've got?
The biggest ones, I believe, are the Supreme. Those generally run about 1,200 apiece. Let's say we could give you a stack of 6 for 5,000.
Well, the end of the world is happening.
It's the end of the world. Everything is dying. These are in high demand, and you're in winter.
Sure.
Hey, it's the
end
of
of the world
as we know it.
So you said a stack of.
So 6. So a cart of 6 would cost 5,000, if the pot reached 20,000.
I wonder what a warforged costs for 5,000.
Okay, so I want to clarify. We have to go another 100. We have to get up to 2,000 before we get the
The
discount.
face
Yes.
just doesn't change.
So, not buying this, buying the 6 does not count. She wants 25,000 for us to be able
Yes.
to get
Effectively, she wants to get to 25,000.
I thought you
Is
said
her
20,000.
No, get to 20,000, then you get the discount for the 5,000. For the set of 6 Supremes.
Okay.
Let me see what I got, what I got, what I got.
You can always purchase some lesser potions to get to that number.
Robin is going to take a sack of 500 platinum pieces and just drop it in the pile.
So that would get the 5,000.
So that would buy the potions. And
Yes.
So that doesn't quite reach us up. to the
Because, so I just got to come up with 1,200 more to make
1,500, but yes.
it. We're at 18, darling.
You're at 18,500. Add 5,000, put you at 23,500. Still 1,500 away from 25,000.
Yes, it. The math is wrong. We're at 18.
You're at 18,500.
Which
Yeah,
means
great.
1,200 puts us at 20.
No, it does not.
18,500.
18,500.
Oh, 18,500.
So 500 puts us at 19. An additional 1,000 puts us at 20, which is where we get the discount on the Supreme. How many?
18. Okay. 18,500. Okay.
How many healing potions?
18,500 plus
Okay.
1,200.
I thought we were more. I thought we were higher than 18,500.
Now we are 18,500 as of now.
Well.
Well, it just had 5,000 more.
Well,
So-
that is for the
Potions.
That is for the
Once
6
we-
Supreme healing potions. But
Once.
that's the discount. We only get the discount if we put in
Either
6
Mal-
20 or 1,500 more.
Mal goes ahead and comes
I gotta
out.
look over at Chin, guys. Walk over to you and go. So does those things work on paint and platinum? I'm
I
gonna
will-
start emotional.
Mal comes out
Unfortunately,
and
no.
says, well, with all of your funds together, you are already over 25,000, so you just need to figure out what to buy. We could say, and he sets another set of 4 superior health potions on. That would cost over 1,500 normally. We could add that to the pot and call it good.
I'll take
I thought you said we were short.
1,500 gold pieces.
No, you have
Drop
the
it.
money on the table. You just haven't thrown it at something yet.
We'll take it.
He's just kind of walk away and just walk over to Nari.
So
Just kinda
I just put in 500
stay
platinum
over
and
there
15,000
and
gold. Or, 1,500 gold.
I don't think she
Okay.
liked it. I don't think she liked her name.
What? What are you talking
It's like, oh no, because
I thought it was very endearing.
My brain hurts from all
But you guys have 8 in here, so you're fine.
So how many healing potions would that be?
So that would be 10 flying potions, 10 invisibility potions, 4 superior potions, and then 6 supreme.
I'll take 1 superior and 1 supreme.
Okay. And so to get
Okay.
to that number, 17,000, 22. Did you put the full 17 in?
Do I have to? I
No.
lost track of the math.
No. So it would be 950.
Okay.
That'd
So-
be 15,500 from you.
which
15,500.
you already did.
Yeah.
I did.
You did 4,000,
I did 4,000.
and then he dropped 6,500. And so that clears up all the money. Mal gives you another 1,000 cards.
And
Spread
we'll
them
just
well.
Take one of the cards. What do the cards look like?
They are him and his sister in front of their shop, seemingly with him having a wand spinning like this magical purple energy towards the camera or where the painter is.
Does it have like a neat little holographic effect?
It does. It kind of spins back to side, and on the back it gives you Arcanum Street, and it has a Donturum address that has been marked off.
I was gonna say, are these ones for marionettes or are these still for?
No,
Wow.
all of the cards were for both.
Oh, okay.
All of the cards both had Mal's Marvelous Goods and my Marionette's Magical Goods.
Okay. I'm gonna just tuck them into my box that I've been having
Octavia grab from and
airdrop
just
them from.
yeah.
Right, now let's split up the potions and everything.
Okay.
So I took
It's
mine.
Great Britain, circa 14.
Alright.
No,
So you took one
19,
Supreme,
40,
or
two.
One Superior, one Supreme goes to Robin. There is a Supreme for everybody, so everybody go ahead and add a Supreme.
Cool.
For those, and I'm just for efficiency's sake, I would say Nibs. Nari already had a Supreme, so she's probably fine. Nibs, Jack, and other than that, I don't know who else would take a Superior, but there's still a Superior left.
What am I taking?
One Supreme. So everybody takes a Supreme.
he didn't want one, didn't he?
Huh?
That's why I went around and
necessarily
asked.
need one.
Primarily it was for these four. They said they didn't want them.
I have
Well,
a
Warden doesn't. They don't need them, but for efficiency's sake, I mean, Warden certainly doesn't need a Superior, for sure. But honestly, a Supreme Potion is going to heal more than he can in one action, in general, for
Wish
one
these
burst,
came out
other
when we
than
searched
the spell
them.
Heal, which is the only way he would be able to do more. And he can drink it as a bonus action.
Added one.
So. And then both Nibs and Jack, I'd say go ahead and add a Supreme.
They never
Um,
come. Supreme. No item.
You would have to type in Healing Potion, and then because Supreme is at the end of the
Potion
word.
of healing.
Yeah, Potion of Healing, Supreme.
The amount of
and
times I have typed in health to try and make a health potion,
up here, and it just doesn't work.
and it doesn't pop up, and I always forget. And then I remember as I'm typing it, and it's not popping up. I'm like, oh yeah.
And then
Yeah,
whoever
last
wants to take the other Superior can do so. Just call out. I don't know if anybody in particular wants
I'll
it.
take it.
You'll take it.
So
Okay. You often find yourself in deep shit.
one superior. So I take one superior.
It's because he places
Two
himself.
Superior, one Supreme.
Warden knows all too well he places himself in deep shit
Okay.
Yeah.
all the time.
And then where potions of flying or anything like that.
Everybody take one potion of flying and one potion of invisibility, except for Robin, because he doesn't need them. So, in fact, everybody
got
else could
10.
take two.
Yeah, everybody gets two.
Two
So-
what?
2 flying potions, 2 invisibility potions.
I only need the invisibilities.
That is fair. However, you can only get 1 hour off of the wings a day, correct?
It says, while wearing this cloak, you can use an action to speak its command word. This turns the cloak into a... hold on. This turns the cloak into a pair of banners of bird wings.
Nibs will take
or
your two.
until you repeat the command word as an action. When they disappear, you can't use them again
For 1d12 hours.
So I would have to repeat the command word before an hour. So once I stop using them, like once I land, I can't use them
For
Okay.
1d12
for
hours.
1d12 hours.
Which very well could put you past the point of the mission if you use them during the day.
Which is why I was planning to use them up in the sky as reconnaissance while I was controlling weather. That was my holy egg.
Right,
Okay.
which you can take these for later. There's a chance we
Yeah, I can take the flying potions for later. That's a good point. Because I won't be able to use my cloak after I've been up there for a few hours.
And then once,
Altering the
yeah.
weather.
Yeah.
The whole point was that I was doing reconnaissance while.
Yep. So
Okay.
we'll let you
So-
get going.
As that's your intention, are you guys going to go to the area and case it yourself? Kind of find
Probably a
a
good
base
idea.
of operation.
He's gonna do it.
Yeah,
I'd like to as well.
I think we should let's split up and not all be grouped up together.
I think Chadwick wants to go take a look.
At a brothel.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys would know of specifically what brothel is being used. Yes.
Quick
All of them?
question. We wouldn't have the time to get a long rest in between casing and actually
No.
Right, okay. Figured. I just thought I'd ask.
Or did you cast a spell already?
No, I was debating if I want to try and cast some during, the casing of the joint.
Well, you can only short rest.
Oh,
You
yeah,
are a
but
warlock.
I only get Mystic Arcanums back on a long rest, though, I believe.
You do not get the Mystic Arcanums, no. So your 6th through 9th, 6th through 9th, you would not get back on a short rest.
Does Nibs know of a diner or a place that...
Go ahead and roll an investigation check on the area around the estate.
No knowledge of their...
You have some knowledge. This is just for funsies.
Well, I'm rolling because I don't have my dice and I keep getting 3s.
That is unfortunate.
That's not worth it.
You would denote that there is a especially popular and very cheap location about a half mile down the road called Burrito Gong.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
And it's quite popular, and it's cheap enough that a lot of people go there for lunch on the Street of Steel.
Is along the outside of the building, along that stuff, if we got the food to go, is there a place where we could...
There's not really a park or a place to sit. Most of it's warehouses or large smithies and forges. There's not really a place to sit and just watch it
But we could walk
right
past,
across the street.
But we could walk past it.
Yeah, you could walk past it plenty. And the two alleys on both sides are fairly well used during the day.
Well, why don't Mari and I walk down one side of the place, and then a little bit later the two of you take a look at the other side, and they can start getting eyes on it.
But I was thinking about doing a bit of magical testing on my own, figuring out exactly how the barrier works. I want to see if I can, still fly going in, find visibility on the drop on going in, if I can potentially teleport out, stuff like that.
Very well. Well, big boy, do you want to head out with your feathered friend and go?
Fucking of course. If he's going to a problem, I might as well enjoy myself.
Okay,
You're gonna
so
nod to him.
Atan and Mike are going to go visit a brothel.
Chadwick.
You end up finding, we're going to start with you guys, it is a fairly expensive establishment. Just courtesans, yeah.
Not horse.
To step in the door is 10 gold per person.
I have not.
And then you'll probably spend somewhere around 50 inside.
That's my 60.
It is mostly foreign or bestial races in this particular establishment.
I'm Dragonborn, I don't care.
Exotic.
So you would have your pick of the litter, whether it be like a goblin, hobgoblin, orcish. There are obviously some more normal races as elves, humans, halflings.
All collared?
No, they are not collared in this establishment.
Interesting.
That's because they're courtesans and not horse.
You're right. There's a distinction.
They get to choose here.
Either that or they all wear
That was good.
Okay.
Okay,
What
so
else are they going to
that is your guys' plan, and so I'm just setting what everyone's doing, and I'll have things prepped of
The results of this action.
results of these actions beginning of next session to try and speed it into the active operation.
I removed 60.
You remove 60.
Oh, okay. He removed 60.
I also removed 60.
Yeah. Well, each of you would take 60 gold to go in and
I
have
was
your
gonna
fun.
say, that's what I thought.
I thought it was 60
Yeah.
each. Okay.
So, Warden, you are wanting to fly way up into the sky
Invisibly.
I don't want you to pay
while
attention.
invisible, correct?
They'll probably give me a shitty
How
choice.
high are you wanting to go? Because recognize you can only move up to 60 feet per turn.
Well, obviously I'd be taking off in the distance.
Yeah.
It's like Red Autumn.
It'll probably take you 10 to 15 minutes to take off from a distance and get to a super, super high
Yes.
altitude.
No, I'm trying to. What is the square footage of this place?
It is a quarter mile wide and long,
Oh, perfect.
so it's quite large. I don't know what that would be in acres, but it's a couple.
I'm trying to imagine if you were
Quarter
looking
size.
at something that was only 8 feet by roughly 3 feet, 4 feet. up in the sky, if it was a mile away, would you be able to see it?
Let me do some math real quick.
If you're invisible, it doesn't matter.
I know that.
I think there'd be 160 acres.
For a quarter mile by quarter mile plot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying
Damn,
to.
acres were smaller than I thought. So it'll take you well into 15 minutes to get a mile into the sky.
Okay.
Doing the math, 10 minutes would get you 3,600 feet.
Well, I can control the atmosphere within a 5-mile radius, or
Or is that 6 minutes? So 6 minutes. It would actually take you about 10 minutes to get a mile up. A little under. But I would advise flying back down rather than letting your wings die out in the sky.
You
well,
know,
that's
it's just
why.
you got a potion.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, a square mile is 640 acres. So
Okay.
Well,
160 is a quarter by quarter.
I should be able to stay up there for the time that I need to, and then once I'm back down, the wings go away and I can't use it for 1d12. So like, I could stay up there for the time that I need to.
he's
Yeah.
meaning once, like, are you gonna go up, stay up there a couple hours?
Yeah, well, you'd have to use potions of flying then while you're up there. Because you only have an hour.
Because it deactivates automatically after an hour.
Or at least that's.
Can we read the item one more time?
Okay, while wearing this cloak, you can use an action to activate it. It turns into a pair of wings on your back for 1 hour or until you repeat the command word as an action.
So, or until
Okay.
you repeat the. So it's basically.
It'll go away.
It'll go
within-
away
okay.
as soon as I stop using it.
Okay.
Or if you say the word as an action, it stops.
Yeah.
You have a maximum of an hour. If you say the command word again, they just fall away.
Yes, that is
Oh,
how it reads.
okay. Then I will be able to. I mean, within an hour, my weather effects will have taken place,
Yeah.
or like have started at least. So that means my visibility of being able to watch things for an hour goes away.
Goes away very, very quickly.
So
And control weather takes 10 minutes to cast.
yes,
So, and it's concentration,
yes,
just FYI.
So,
Up to 8 hours. So you would probably wait until a little bit into the afternoon
yes,
to begin that, since you're probably going at midnight, so you'd want to wait until mid-evening.
yes. I was going to go roughly 3 to 4 hours before we
Okay.
our operation would take
So
place.
what is Warden doing in the afternoon? Because you guys, it's about like noon at this
Oh,
point.
it's afternoon.
Yeah, you guys have like you guys have quite a while to do this. So while you're thinking about that, Nari, Nibs, you guys are talking about patrolling the alleys and the sideways?
we'll just walk down one side.
Warden will
Or
purvey
do
some
a-
of the local
A right angle and head to the burrito.
local
Yeah, burrito gun and maybe walk around
blacksmiths
with the food?
and then tradesmen.
Well,
and
yeah,
artificers
once we
and
get it,
such.
Okay.
Kind of just purvey and kind of poke his head and walk around, maybe talk
Nibs,
like
yeah.
small
Once
talk with
we
people.
get like Nibs
Some
will
people
go
might
in
recognize
and
him as
Yeah.
being from the Light Star Forge,
good
so
hot sauce.
as being the owner of the Light Star Forge.
So-
But
Okay, so
Uh,
I'll take that into the note. I'll have some information for you, and then at about 8 p.m., you go up into the sky and start doing your
Cool.
casting. I would like both of you guys to roll me perception and investigation checks. And then for you, I'm assuming you're probably doing some perusing around the area as well, correct?
Actual dice to
I'll
roll.
let you get there because mine is gonna be a bit more.
Perception is
Okay.
16.
We don't have a lot of time, so if you want to go ahead and start, keep your rolls to yourself, note them down, and let me know about them later.
Because what I would like to do is, I would like to, walk around the place and see if I can identify a place where the guards aren't watching along the wall, or at least where it has like the least concentration of guards.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation. We'll start with that.
you're trying to watch the guards
Yeah,
on the wall.
one perception, one investigation.
Yes. Because I want to
Well,
find.
you're
if
doing
there's
this.
a-
Well, you're doing this before I
Alright.
go to this guy.
Yeah, I want to find at
What's
least
your
like
insight?
one place along
Do
the
you-
route.
By what?
I was just like,
Um,
if you wanted to, you roll
question.
inside
I
on
have plus
Nibs.
0 in advantage, but with my invisibility and stealth, could you say that I could, get really close to the wall and look at it from an angle where I'm like very clearly inspecting it, but because I'm invisible, they can't see me. I get
Sure.
advantage.
You have advantage on this, yeah.
Nice.
Your invisibility drops due to the magical barrier.
5 5 and nat 20.
Okay. How close do you get to the wall?
Um,
Would you say within 10 feet, within 5 feet, or touching?
I will go right touching the wall.
Touch it.
You will go right up to touching the wall. So you peruse around for a while invisible, and you denote that the attention of gates particularly is heavily focused upon, obviously, as they're all open. Well, the east and west gates are not naturally open during the day, but both the north gate is constantly accepting carts in with steel and different metals. And the southern gate is the main gate where invited guests enter in from, which is fairly often.
Wait, they have a forge there. I could have just gone in. I could have practically walked in.
Well, we'll get to that later. So
God
the area of the east alley, in between the two watch posts, that being the central watch post and the northeastern watch post, is generally the deadest area. Now, that being said, that means you have about 30, maybe 40 seconds maximum before there is another pair of eyes on that site. So that being one group passes, patrol passes, 30 seconds until the next one is standing on that location. So they have eyes on it for the vast majority of that time, if you're talking about the top of the wall.
Yeah.
But that's the deadest zone. The rest of them are a tighter, like maybe 20, 25 second period.
Okay.
In that, you denote, as soon as you touch to the wall, your invisibility died.
I'm going to immediately hop back up from not touching the wall, but so close to it, and reapply it. Does it work?
Yes, it is able to be reapplied.
Okay, and in that case, I'm going to wait for a group to pass, so I can get some time. Then I'm going to use one of the uses of my flight for my elemental gift. It gives me 30 feet flight speed, which I'm going to assume I can dash increase that to 60.
I will allow it.
Okay. So, in that case, is that an action? It's a bonus action. So, bonus action, do that. Action, dash, up 30, and then, actually, say up 35 or something. And then, if I fly over the wall without touching it, it doesn't drop.
As soon as you fly over the plane of the wall, you feel the wind catch from underneath you, and you are no longer flying, and you begin to fall while visible.
I would like to try and cast Dimension Door to teleport myself to a nearby roof.
I would like you to also roll we'll call this a stealth check, as luck is not added to your character sheet yet, and you are good at stealth. But
Make him roll for his luck stat.
we will go ahead and do that right after this. And you will be able to cast your Dimension Door. But we're just going to see if anybody saw you.
Motherfucker.
Well, at the very least, I have a plus 11 to stealth. So now you can
Stop jerking off the die and roll.
I was going to say you can watch me roll in that one. 10 plus 11, 21.
21. There seems to be no active shouts or people yelling at you to get down. You don't hear a what the fuck. But you do realize that was very close as you Dimension Door and teleport way out onto a roof of a nearby smithy where you are able to easily slide off and reapply visibility and rejoin society on the street.
That's a big information.
So, with that information, if you guys want to keep your rolls noted down and either send them to me on Discord or text, you guys can go ahead and do so.
So I will go ahead. I'm going to assume I know about your plan to try and fly over.
I'm going to be in proximity. I don't have to be directly over it.
Yeah.
It's not a huge.
You probably saw
Yeah,
me do
just
that.
I can
just don't go directly over.
I can affect.
It also could be a height-related thing. I didn't test that, but
That's something we can test next session. So,
I'm gonna sit on the moon.
yeah.
as
But the
it
important
passes
thing I care
over.
about is that I could teleport out freely.
you were never inside the facility's walls.
I mean,
There was a barrier that you slammed against when
I thought
caught
it was
you entered.
I thought it was like I had passed through the barrier
So-
and then started falling. Not
No,
hit barrier,
you
fall.
hit and you started falling. Could you have grabbed onto the wall and probably climbed over? Yes, but you were still outside the area of the wall before
The
teleporting.
thing is I can affect the entire atmosphere's weather within a 5-mile radius of me. So me being a mile up and within close proximity, I don't have
Yeah.
to be directly over.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely fine. But we're gonna go ahead and close down. So thank you for coming. Hope you guys at least somewhat enjoyed this, and hopefully we'll get to some more active shit next couple sessions.
That was